My name is Tom Flude, I'm the co-founder of Engineers Insight, and I'm here on the ABB stand at MAC for the launch of PoWa Cobot from ABB. So Julian, what are we looking at?
So, launched today, and it's great to have this robot for the first time at a show. Literally the unveiling we did at 2 p.m. today was the first time the world had seen it at a show.
Okay.
So it's great for us in the UK to be able to have this. So this is our brand new PoWa robot. Also called the CRB 1910.
Yep.
So this is a powerful industrial grade robot in a collaborative shell. So a lot of the look and feel of one of our industrial robots, a little bit of a step up from our Gopher collaborative robot. But why? Well, one of the main reasons, we've got class leading speed at 5.8 meters per second, payloads from 7 to 30 kilos. And also we've got class leading reach to a maximum of 2.1 meters TCP for the 16 kilo model. So we really feel that they're going to take the market by storm for applications such as palletizing, maybe some welding applications.
Okay, so where does it fit then in the range from ABB?
So you may well know our Gopher robot that we've got up to a 12 kilo payload. So this one now goes from 7 all the way up to 30 kilos that will be released in the middle of the year.
Okay.
So that gives us that range that's where some of our industrial robots meet. But what you've got is a compact form. Some people don't have that space for a full industrial robot, so it gives that form of a collaborative robot with an industrial performance.
Okay, and how does it integrate then into the family? Like, is it the same controller? So, yeah, okay.
Great
same interface.
question. Great question, Tom. So most importantly, that's what our customers are asking from us. So it's with our OmniCore controller.
Okay.
So this is using the E10, which is the smallest, like almost a bookcase style controller. So our most compact controller. So then again, when you're integrating it, the space needed for that controller is down to a minimum. And like I say, with that footprint of the actual base down to a minimum as well.
And what we're talking about integration, interface-wise, comms?
Interface comes as standard with Profinet, ProfiSafe, Ethernet IP adapter as standard. Again, something that the market is asking for, those interfaces standard, that you don't need to specify those. And again, what we think is going to be a really competitive price for the mid-range 10 and 13 kilos.
Do you want to talk about price?
It's about 22k list for this. So
For the 10 kilo
for the
payload?
10, 13 kilo payload. So we think that's going to be really competitive in the market. And more importantly, it's got our brand name on it. We stand for quality, products that last, products that the customers want to see. So we're really excited about this new product and the launch today.
You mentioned payload, so talk me through the typical applications from the lower end 7 all the way up to 30.
Yeah,
so big range.
Yeah, so a lot of those applications at the moment where you want maybe an industrial speed, but with a collaborative footprint around things like palletizing.
Yes.
So if we can offer, palletizing at 30 kilos, but at 5.8 meters a second, which is really industrial speed, then that gives a fairly small footprint when you've got some of the guarding safety fencing around it, but at really high speeds. Then you've got other things like welding, where so we show here an example with welding with a Gopher. But if you can do some welding applications where you want a longer reach, maybe to get into your parts, and you've got reaches, like I say, up to 2.1 meters in the in the 16 kilo model. So you've got that longer reach. And then the other bit that we're also seeing now is that bit that we've started with our Gopher robot, but there's buttons on the device to be able to easy teach.
Yes.
A programmable button that could be custom for you, so that could be maybe something that you want to do a start by pressing a button on the robot. So again, that piece there that comes on the flange of the robot.
Yeah, and you touched on safety of a cell, but safety in the robot itself. Talk me through what happens, collision, someone walks into a cell, what happens, touches it? Yeah,
so we haven't got the torque sensors that we'll say on a high-end collaborative robot that Gopher has, but we do have measurement by the currents in the motors that gives you that same look and feel. So if you do knock into it, it will stop. But then with the addition of ProfiSafe, you can add, for example, a light scanner to be able to do that. but in the assurance that you've also got that safety piece that if it does knock into, it will stop. Okay. It may limit it on some applications where you want to do force control, but then we have the Gopher that fits in that range. But if you want to do some high-speed palletizing, for example, that's exactly where it fits in.
So explain it. So 30 kilo payload, you've got long arm reach, you're doing end-of-line palletizing. Touched on safety a couple of times. How do you actually make sure that the end-of-line palletizer with a Cobot is safe? Because you just said industrial speeds, which worries me. So how do you make sure that the operators...
Yeah, okay. So all of our products have what's called Safe Move, which is some software that surrounds the application, because every application is dependent on, the application itself. Palletizing at 5.8 meters a second is pretty quick. So whether you're palletizing foam billets or lumps of steel, it's the actual point is around the speed that the robot's going at. Force equals mass times acceleration. Very simple physics calculation. So what you're looking at once you wrap it within the Safe Move safety application, then you can put a bubble so that as you walk up to that robot, it will slow down, it will stop.
Okay.
There's a lot of new safety legislation. I think you and I were at an event earlier in the year when they talked about the safety legislation are all around, we'll say, collaborative robots, and maybe the collaborative robot is dead as a code name Cobot.
Yep.
But making sure that you've got that safety within your controller and all the interfaces into that.
We're no longer just talking about a robot arm, we're talking about an actual application.
Exactly, and I think that's an important thing to talk about when people are integrating these. You have to actually look at the whole of the application. If we're packing razor blades, the payload is 0. The safety part of that is actually what we're looking at. So that looking at the whole application. So if we're palletizing and we're palletizing at eye level, even for not at 5.8 meters a second, then you've got that danger piece. So I think when people look into that, they need to make sure that the OEM, as the robot manufacturer, is discussing that with them. Yes. Does the integrator understand the new standards? Have they read the new standards, and how do they take that and then address it in the application they're using it for?
Okay, all right. So typical applications, you want people that are watching this, what sort of industries do you expect them to be in to think this is the perfect fit for them?
Well, we'd like to say,
everywhere.
The mantra is that we just don't have enough robots. The robot density within the UK is really lagging behind in IFR data. That's clear to see. So at first, it's all about education. Again, we touched on it with the controller. Just importantly, it's got that wizard-based interface that you can use here. So what we're trying to say is, don't be afraid of putting a robot in. Let us come and talk to you how we can integrate something like this and show you how quick and easy it is to do, and maybe take away some of that, smoke and mirrors that it's really difficult to program a robot. No, I've had some press come into the office and I've challenged them to be able to program a robot in under a certain amount of time. I'd also like to challenge you, Tom, to come into our facility.
Okay, we could do a video on that.
Yeah, and we'll do a Top Gear style leader chart to see where you perform compared to some of the other press people.
You mentioned like how you help integrators or help the end user. Are there any specific software packages for application specific? Is there a welding package? Is there a palletizing package?
Again, like I said, the most important thing is all of these robots fit within that piece around the standard ABB family. So you can interface this with Robot Studio, our class-leading online, offline simulation program.
Yep.
If you downloaded Robot Studio today, you'd be able to add this program. So I think that's number one. So you can use the Robot Studio to program in that.
Yep.
As well as using the pendant to be able to do that. I think that's also important to let people know there's a simulation program that you can also use some tools that maybe some of the younger engineers are using, AR, VR headsets, maybe to program it virtually.
Yep.
And maybe that's going to be important to them. So I think that, again, class-leading Robot Studio software to be able to program it is also important.
So not just the robot, but tell me a little bit more about ABB Robotics.
Yeah, so ABB are in many, many markets. I think traditionally people tend to think that ABB are big into automotive, maybe tier one customers, but we're a lot more to that. Today on the stand, you'll see some of those things: machine tool tending, welding, palletizing, and that's what we're developing new products like this product today to enter that market, but with our brand on it. All right.
Pretty good.